It's got to be a crummy watch.
Tonight, almost live, it's America Tonight. 30 minutes of TV on the UBS network, located on the UBS Broadcasting Mall in El Tacoma, California, the unfinished furniture capital of the world, with Buck and Harriet Pine, who found love in the hills and kept it there, and Susan Cloud, who hasn't worked since she last touched food, with the music of Happy Kine and the Mirthmakers. And me, I'm Jerry Hubbard. Hi, everybody. And now here's your host, the toast of the coast, Mr. Bart Kimball.
Thank you. Just looking at some nostalgia. Good evening and welcome to America Tonight. I am Barth Kimball. And you know, in the weeks that we've been doing the show here at UBS, I've really come to feel sort of like a part of El Tacoma, really. You have to spend a while in a town before you know where to get a good burger, or where to get the best selection of out-of-town newspapers or nostalgia, or where to go for the best lube and oil change. Incidentally, that would be the kind of work they do down at Ed and Bill's Disco Gas, and that's over on Santa Coma Avenue. I should mention, incidentally, in case you're crazy, the disco and disco gas signifies discount, of course, rather than discotheque. There's probably enough hustling going on at Ed and Bill's as it is. It's not a discotheque. So I'm just kidding, guys. Hey, and thank you, El Mucho Grande, for the case of 1030 weight. Okay, it really goes in handy. Listen, speaking of oil and stuff like that, here's a man whose dipstick always reads empty, Mr. Jerry Hubbard. I always expect to see him, and yet it's always almost a pleasure. Anyway, just as we're getting comfortable here in El Tacoma, which is exactly what's happening, well, what else happens? Well, today we get a memo that we're going to have to shut down the UBS studios for a week or so. Now, this doesn't hurt most of the shows on the network because they always take some kind of break or hiatus either before or after cancellation. But what this does mean is that, like a lot of other talk shows, we're going to have to take America Tonight on the road, on location for a week or so. And why shouldn't it be your city or town?
That's right. Now, when you realize that a lot of this city, El Tacoma, has gotten a lot of economic gains just from us being here, just from a simple thing like the haircuts alone. Amen. Now, let's count. Myself, yourself, Happy Kine, the boys in the band, and I always feel so silly calling them that. Now, the crew also, but the crew works on other shows, so we can't really take credit for their haircuts.
Well, this is true, and also I think Happy Kine can be counted as sort of half a haircut. Oh, no. Nature gave him a pretty good one. You know, on the other hand, you have to consider that, on the other hand, we're probably not going to stay in your town long enough really to need more than one haircut apiece. So I don't think that's really the major selling point here, Jerry. It's just the fun of having our whole gang living and eating in your city or town. Yes. Could be incredible. We are a lot of fun, believe me. So in that spirit, why not start making calls to some restaurants and hotels in your town and getting them interested in providing us with the kind of, well, we call them promotional considerations that can make it worth our while. We'd appreciate it. Okay, Jerry?
Yes. If you'd like America Tonight to come to your city or town, send your notarized offer of facilities to Gimbal Co. Enterprises, Promotional Consideration Department, Post Office Box 78924, El Tacoma, California. Of course, that is zip code 94991.
Okay. You say the zip code over and over on these things, but a lot of times people don't write it down. It's a good thing you said it again.
That's right. And promotional consideration, of course, means those little 8x10 photos we take around, especially to the restaurants that they all want.
I don't mind.
Can we put a picture up?
Just sign it and put it up there. It's certainly worth the mail. Now, listen, if, of course, you are in the El Tacoma area, you can just probably drop that little entry form right by Ed and Bill's disco service, and we'll pick it up there, okay? Now, as you know, there's music, and then there's music. And our own Happy Kine, of course, falls into that second category. The Pine Family Singers, however, have been giving us their smooth country sound for almost 3 generations now, and we're proud to welcome the ones who started it all. The granddaddy and the grandmommy of country music, the Pine Family Singers, Buck and Harriet Pine.
When I look at our home in the hills of Tennessee, I know I'll never roam from the house you built for me.
Yeah, you carried every log and you put them all in place. You worked just like a hog with a big smile on your face. And you did it all for me in the hills of Tennessee, when there was just you and me in the hills of Tennessee.
Well, we sang to each other, there was no one else around. Then we loved one another, and children did abound.
Now our family has grown as many children as can be. They've got children of their own in the home you built for me.
And you did it all for me
In the hills of Tennessee.
We will love eternally.
In the hills of Tennessee. We will love eternally in the hills of Tennessee.
That's great. We'll be right back after these words and talk with these people. Thank you, Happy. We're back with the heads of the Pine family singers, Buck and Harriet Pine, the king and queen of country music. How are you?
Just fine, just fine.
You know, I always had trouble with that term, country music.
Really?
Yes.
So listen, Buck, Harriet, how'd you two first meet?
Well, sir, we're singing in the same church
That's right.
choir.
That's right.
And we got to doing so good. The choir master seated us right next to each other,
That's
and we've
right,
been there
Carl.
ever since.
Ever since. I happen to know that ever since is 54 years. That's amazing, isn't it? It's a long time to stay married. What do you two have in common?
Well, Barth, we like music and we love children.
And we're second cousins.
That's right.
I guess you could say you turned out to be kissing cousins then.
They have to be more than kissing cousins if they have 6 children. 6 little pines, eh? You got yourself a real forest there. My, your family really branched out, huh? You put yourself out on a limb, didn't you? Must be proud of your family tree. You wouldn't have trouble tracing back your roots, would you?
Jerry, what do they call that little green thing on the branches?
A leaf.
Leave, yes, leave. Thank you. Listen, when did you two decide to make it a family act?
Well, when my brother Bob married Harriet's sister Mary Lou, we was singing good, everything was great, and then that gummed they up and had 7 kids of their own.
Oh, my Lord.
And then our oldest daughter and Bob and Mary Lou's middle boy became husband and wife.
Yeah, and they was already cousin and niece. Yeah, and then all hell broke loose. Yeah, and then the triplets come. And then first thing you know, twins. They was George Bob and Tommy John.
No, Paul, that was Tommy Ray.
Oh yeah, Tommy John pitches for the Dodgers. And yeah, but we was all just happier than a dead pig in the sunshine.
Have any of the Pines ever married people from outside their region, other parts of the country?
No, actual, huh?
Any of the Pines ever married someone from outside of the area here, outside the region?
No, we ain't never married outside of the family. See, you know, groups come and they get their sounds in certain ways. Some of them sing through megaphone stuff. And we figure that we get our sound from our marriages.
Except for Joni Lynn,
Yeah.
we had to take her out of school because of all the teasing.
Now, wait a minute. Why was she being teased?
She don't have a hair on her entire body.
She ain't got no hair in her nostrils. And the cold air shoots up her head and goes right into her brain. They say that's why she can't hold a fork or never did learn to read.
Wow, that's something there. To have no hair, just go shooting right up into, you said, her brain? We'll talk about that. Listen,
And then there's young Charlie Ray.
I remember him.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's the one with the high-pitched voice, and he's got 2 little breasts on him, just like his sister.
Yeah.
So the, I guess it's safe to say the Pine family does not get out of the house that much, right?
Huh?
I say the Pine family doesn't get out of the house much, right?
No, we don't get out of the house much. That's that blame grandkids. None of them ever passed their driver's license test.
Listen, one last question. Do any of the other family groups, you know, there's so many of them, get their sound from inbreeding this way?
You see, we bred for talent.
Yeah.
Whereas your King family, they bred for hair.
Didn't they?
That's right. And your Osmonds, they bred for teeth.
They did.
And see, we got some young Pines that ain't got neither.
But they sure can sing.
Well, you mentioned the King family. That's B.B. King, Freddie King, Morgana King, I believe Peggy King. I'm not sure. And they're very good. Listen, I guess we'll just have to take your word for it about your own family being able to sing so well, since we'll probably never see them here on TV unless they can find outfits. Maybe that's just as well. It's been real semi-entertaining talking to you, and I can't thank you enough. Well, maybe I did. We'll be right back after these words. Thank you, Happy.
You know, talking to the Pines here, I happen to think if they're one of the girls, Joni Lou Pine married Forrest Tucker, she'd be...
Joni Lynn Tucker.
That's right. Go ahead, I just want to...
However, if she married Jerry Hubbard, she'd be what? Crazy. You know, as a public service, we sometimes devote our airtime to helping people find jobs. Sometimes people who don't even deserve a job find one, but who knows. Our next guest was the owner and operator of a health food restaurant called the Butterfly Deli. She is now between jobs. Maybe we can help. Please welcome Miss Susan Cloud. What you got?
Oh, flowers.
Oh, but no stems.
I don't believe in stems.
Okay. Well, listen, it's nice to see you again, Susan.
It's always good to be
You're out here
seen.
from Fernwood, Ohio. That's a long trip.
God, my compadres and I were so bummed out when you had to leave Fernwood.
Well, it was tough for all of us.
Yeah, everybody was bummed out, especially like the people who loaned you all that money. It's cool. It's cool. That's what they get for being hung up on material possessions.
Amen.
Really, it doesn't matter if they had to mortgage their houses. It's just wood. It's cool.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, there was nobody left for me to hang out with except my guru, and he turned out to be cosmically pretty raunchy.
Okay, now let me just she's a new face to a lot of you. Let me interject here that was not actually a full-fledged guru, as I recall. It was a fellow at the Guru Training Institute. Now, what was his name? Tommy?
Randy.
Randy.
Tone, I don't remember,
Okay.
Barth. My memory bank closes at 3 and there's no walk-up window. What is the name anyway? It's just something you use to call something something. May as
Right.
well just call it something.
Or numbers, something like that. Here's
Really?
14, that kind of
Really,
thing.
I got his number anyway.
Yeah, that's
I'll
good.
tell you, he started coming on to me in a big way.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know, he says, empty free your mind of all thoughts.
Which, of course, you had done years ago.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Lolo. Yeah, and then he tells me, like, my hair smells as sweet as daffodils, my eyes are like as green as the moss on the bottom of the ocean, how my mind is like complex as a forest.
He didn't want a date, he wanted a recreational playground.
He got me so much into hostility, and I'd like never been into hostility before. I was so uptight, I sold his mantra to the National Enquirer.
Really? And you're not supposed to tell those or sell them,
No,
are they?
really, who knows what that's gonna do to my karma? Really? So anyway, I was so blown away that I, like, closed down the deli. I had to go out and buy doors and everything. And then I just sort of tripped out of town. You know, a person can only put so much of herself into her restaurant without actually becoming one of the dinners.
Well, if there's some young kids out there, I hope you wrote that down, because those are words to live by. Listen.
I want to get my restaurant trip together again, but I gotta cool out first. Anyway, I had this thought which flashed into my head about opening up the Butterfly Disco. Because music's far out and dancing's a short trip, you know? I mean, sometimes I'll start dancing and there's not even any music. And then, all of a sudden, I thought, wow, how mellow if there was a beat. And your ears need something to listen to, otherwise they may as well be lips. Though it sounds like your kids listen with their lips. Who knows if they even have ears? One here, one there. Wow.
Well, once again, I hope you have your pencils out there, kids. What was it again? Your ears would be...
They need something to listen to, otherwise they may as well be lips.
Your ears may as well be lips, and I think those are good words to remember, too. Sit there in the morning going like this and then like this.
It leads to facial versatility.
That's true. You could listen to 3 people at once. So listen, Susan, you're looking either for some kind of, for those people listening, for creative work or something in a disco vein, something in disco music. Anyone has any opportunities, please call up. I'm sure she'd be very good at it. Now, what else is new in your life? Anything else?
Well, Bart, I think I'm pregnant. Don't ask me how. I slept through it.
Are you planning, of course you are planning to get married?
No, I don't think it's cool to complicate your life when you're pregnant and everything, you know? So, I appreciate the offer, and I wouldn't mind crashing with you for a while. I've always loved you. As a matter of fact, take this flower. It goes with your shirt, and I go with the flower. But, seriously.
Look at that.
Keep it in mind. You guys can come too.
Well,
Don't start with that family.
Sure.
Sure, the more the merrier.
We can advise her on her coming situation, too.
Oh, sure could.
Their name is Pine, and I figured out even Penelope Tree in Forrest Tucker. It's Penelope Tucker, and it doesn't work. Branch Rickey is no good either. That's just like...
Really, with so many kids, why aren't you known as Naughty Pine? Get it? No, I guess not.
say what you've been up to, you'd be the naughty Pine, not the naughty Pine.
The naughty, nutty, and naughty.
This is true. All of those.
All of those.
Well, there you have it, friends. Job opportunity, a wonderful employee. If you have a job, let's say, that lasts about, what, about how long?
Well, a day or 6.5 months.
6.5 more months. We have a lady here to take that job. You can call us here at, what is it? It's called Workload. And do you want to hold your clothes here before I wilt it?
Okay.
Workload, 555-5624. Once again, Workload, and that number, of course, 555-56244 for Workload.
And I'll show up on time, too.
Okay, she'll show up on time, which is great. We'll be right back after these words, and don't forget to call Workload, 555. Thank you very much. Well, we just got a few seconds here to thank my guests, the Pine family. You've been wonderful. I really think your singing is inspirational, and you'll come back. Maybe bring the showable members of your family. If you could bring them back, that'd be great.
We'd love to.
Susan, best of luck. Remember the number once again is workload, and the name is 555-5624 for workload. Jerry, what are you doing?
May Bush is no good.
No, it isn't.
Well, look, if Forrest Tucker married Lauren Green, it'd be Green Forrest if last name came first, but they don't get married guys, but sometimes they do. But let me work it out. Maybe, how much time do we have?
I don't think we have enough for you to figure that one out, Jer.
How about if Abby Lane married Jane Meadows? She'd be Meadow Lane.
Or if one of our daughters married Ben Turpin's daughter, they could wind up being Turpinpine.
Anyone
If
else?
somebody married me, I'd end up happy.
And if Happy married you, you'd end up sad. Hey, you know, it's a great game idea. Why don't you folks at home take out a half a sheet of paper and a bunch of pencils or crayons if you're worried about hurting yourself, and figure about if so-and-so married so-and-so. It would be pretty good fun, okay? And you can do that until we're back tomorrow night. See ya. Bye.
Members of our studio audience will receive the following. Classic curves from Dittos, the Feel the Fit Company. Pants to make every woman feel beautiful. In sizes 3 to 13 and 8 to 18. And a $25 gift certificate from Lillian Burns catalog. Jewelry, gifts, decor, personalized items, and things from practical to whimsical. And wet your whistle with Lip Quencher, the moisturizing lipstick by Chapstick in 24 wet, wonderful colors.
Every Monday through Saturday at 11 p.m., it's the unpredictable comedy of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Next, our feature, The Pirates of Tortuga.
Also appearing on tonight's show were Hank Penny as Buck Pine, Peggy Connor as Harriet Pine, and Susan Elliott as Susan Cloud.